All right, a new challenger has entered the Pennsylvania Senate race, and it is television Doctor Mehmet Oz, known for being a purveyor of quack cures and pseudoscience. Can't even really call them treatments. Really shouldn't even call them cures. We're going to get to that. Television Doctor Mehmet Oz is running for Senate in Pennsylvania as a Republican, and he's a complete disgrace to the medical field. And if he were senator, it would be yet another complete disgrace to this country. But Trump won, so Dr. Oz could certainly win. There is a good candidate in that race, and it's a really important race. The good candidate is John Fetterman, Lieutenant Governor of Pennsylvania. And now we have a really bad candidate. Dr. Oz has promoted all sorts of quack cures for years. He's the opposite of what we need in power. And here is his big announcement that he is running.
My parents came to America to find a better life, and they did. I attended great universities, raised a family, and became a successful surgeon. I invented a heart valve that saves thousands of lives. Then I started a TV show to advocate for you taking control of your health, and took on the medical establishment to argue against costly drugs and skyrocketing medical bills. But COVID has shown us that our system is broken. We lost too many lives, too many jobs, and too many opportunities because Washington got it wrong. They took away our freedom without making us safer and tried to kill our spirit and our dignity. Now, as a heart surgeon, I know how precious life is. Pennsylvania needs a conservative who will put America first. One who can reignite our divine spark, bravely fight for freedom, and tell it like it is. That's why I'm running for Senate. I'm Dr. Oz, and I approve this message.
This is a major Senate race in 2022 in Pennsylvania. This Senate race could decide who controls the Senate in the next term, Democrats or Republicans. It's going to be an open seat. The incumbent Republican Senator Pat Toomey has said he's not running for re-election. Joe Biden won Pennsylvania in 2020, but Pennsylvania is really a state that, particularly on Senate, can go either way, even on presidential. It's not typically a big win for one side or the other. It's a fight. And Dr. Oz is exactly the type of celebrity that Republicans would love to vote for, and he's truly horrible. He has done a lot of horrible things on his show. Just as some examples, he held a debate about gay reparative therapy as if there's a legitimate conversation about it. This is like when a network says, we're going to debate climate change, and they bring on someone who understands and states the facts and someone else who just presents a completely wacky conspiracy view and presents them as if they are even. Dr. Oz did the same thing with gay reparative therapy. Dr. Oz promoted green coffee bean extract for weight loss. There are no weight loss benefits to green coffee bean extract. It's one of these purported things that has since been admitted to being bogus. He promoted the use of hydroxychloroquine to treat COVID on multiple Fox News broadcasts. And of course, as many of you know, I listed hydroxychloroquine back at that time, along with 7 or 8 other things that were being looked at as, does this work? The FDA revoked an EUA for hydroxychloroquine, saying there was no reason to believe that it was effective against COVID-19. He has been pushing. Remember, he's an actual. This is not like, when doctor, but it's not a medical doctor. So you've got to. This is a medical doctor, and he still pushes nonsense. Dr. Oz, supportive of homeopathy, which is just completely debunked. I know some people in the audience get mad at me. Guys, it's totally debunked. There's often no active ingredients in it in measurable quantities. It has been determined that homeopathy cannot treat or cure any condition of any kind, period. It's nothing. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. It's just nothing. Dr. Oz promoted energy therapies of different kinds. He's expressed support for faith healing. He is kowtowed to psychic communication and much more. Dr. Oz has repeatedly claimed that raspberry... oh, man. He has claimed that raspberry ketones are the #1 miracle in a bottle to burn your fat. He has said astrological signs may reveal a great deal about your health, and saying that for centuries we've used astrological signs to examine our personalities and how we interact. But there may be much to be revealed about our health as well. That's not true. That's a lie. Dr. Oz said that most countries require genetically modified foods to be specially labeled, sort of implying that it's because GMOs are unsafe. Now, the reality is that most countries do not require such labels. GMO foods have been studied and have found to be safe. Now, the issue of pesticides is often intermingled with GMO. Pesticides are a different story, but GMOs have been studied and there's no evidence that they are unsafe for human consumption. There's something called umcalobo. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's a root extract. And he says that it's been incredibly effective at relieving cold symptoms, even though that's not true. There are not reliable studies on that. And then remember when he said that, you know what, if we open schools, we might have 2 to 3% mortality, but that would be a good trade. What? Remember this from April of 2020 on the Sean Hannity program.
Dr. Oz, help us.
Well, first, we need our mojo back. Let's start with things that are really critical to the nation where we think we might be able to open without getting into a lot of trouble. I tell you, schools are a very appetizing opportunity. I just saw a nice piece in The Lancet arguing that the opening of schools may only cost us 2 to 3% in terms of total mortality. And, you know, that's any life is a life lost. But to get every child back into a school where they're safely being educated, being fed, and making the most out of their lives with a theoretical risk in the backside, it might be a trade-off some folks would consider.
Wow. And I mean, that's just completely bonkers. First of all, once schools opened, we saw that it was insane spread. And months later, obviously, schools opened and it was just like immediately this entire class has to quarantine. Florida educators dying all over. I mean, just crazy. 2 to 3% of mortality is a trade-off that we might make. So, you know, there was a point where we would never imagine that a guy like this would have a shot, except Donald Trump won. And Dr. Oz could clearly win. Dr. Oz could be the person who takes the Senate from Democrats in 2022. Now, fortunately, we have a great option, and that's John Fetterman running in Pennsylvania. This isn't an endorsement, but I like Fetterman. We have good options is the point. Pat Toomey's retiring, Republican senator's retiring, and it's not like it's Dr. Oz or nobody. We have, at minimum, John Fetterman. I know there are other candidates running on both the Democratic and Republican sides. There will be primaries to choose who ultimately makes it to the general election in November. Now only 11 months away, guys. It's the midterms. We're in the midterms already. And it would be an absolute disaster if Dr. Oz were to win. Let's next look at the welcome with open arms that Dr. Oz received on Fox News over the last 24 to 48 hours. One of our sponsors is Four Sigmatic, the company best known for their delicious mushroom coffee. Four Sigmatic's mushroom coffee is organic, fair trade, single origin Arabica coffee with both lion's mane and chaga mushrooms. Chaga mushrooms have actually been shown to have potential in supporting the immune system in peer-reviewed studies. I've been drinking Four Sigmatic coffee a lot lately. It actually doesn't taste anything like mushrooms. It just tastes like any delicious coffee, but it's really easy on my stomach, doesn't give me any jittery feeling or a midday crash. And they have over 20,000 5-star reviews. And best of all, if you don't love it, you'll get 100% of your money back because they stand behind their product. You've got nothing to lose by giving it a try. Four Sigmatic is giving my audience up to 40% off and free shipping when you go to foursigmatic.com/Pacman. The link is right underneath this video.